Welcome back on the mat. We'll start in a seated position, but you're going to place your hands on the floor next to the pelvis. So get your arms nice and straight, and then draw your shoulders away from your ears, and just feel as you keep the hands on the floor, the arms sort of assisting you to get length in your back. So as you get this sensation, close your eyes. Feel your sit bones making contact with the floor, your palms making contact with the floor. Maintain this length in your back, and then place your hands onto your knees. Notice your own inhales and exhales, and then slowly but surely start to deepen your breath. Nothing has to be forced. Just gradually make your inhales longer and extend your exhales. Should you wish to do Ujjayi Pranayama, you can start with your Ujjayi. It's always a nice way to make sure that the breath comes first. But once again, don't force it. Whichever breathing pattern you choose to follow for the class, just continue with that and slowly open your eyes. Make our way into a downward facing dog. As you position hands onto the mat, step back, get into a down dog. Maybe your down dog's a bit shorter today, that's fine. And have a slightly shorter stance for your very first down dog. If you feel the need to walk it out, you're more than welcome to. If you simply want to stay in the shape, do that. Just making sure your breathing pattern is the same as in that seated position. Now bend your knees, look up, start to walk your feet in between your hands. And do a halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. We'll keep the left foot on the mat. Step your right foot over. So we cross the legs. Get the toes to more or less line up, and use an exhale to come down. If you don't get to touch the floor with your fingers, place your hands onto your shin and keep a bit of length in your back. The idea is to feel into the left hamstring. Now, even if you cannot touch the floor, doesn't matter, just turn your chest towards the right. Walk hands back to center and turn your chest to the left. Inhale back to center and slowly make your way up. We'll switch sides. We're not rushed. You don't want to rush through these movements. Let's step left foot over right, and then you can go down on a exhale. And as you get into that forward bend, if you need to keep hands on the shins, doesn't matter, then you do that. And now we'll first turn chest to the left, feeling a bit of a stretch in the side body, maybe even the lats. Bring it back to center and take it over to the right. Bit of a different sensation, maybe not as intense. Bring it back to center and slowly make your way back up. Now we'll step the feet together. Get into a forward bend, so lower down. If you have to place hands on shins, you do that. If you need to bend into the knees a little bit, that's also fine. But the idea is to actively get your body into a deeper forward bend by squeezing your glutes and pulling your chest closer to the floor or towards the feet. So place your hands wherever you can. Start to squeeze or activate the glutes. Draw navel to spine and actively work your body just a little bit deeper as you get the solid activation. Keep squeezing. And then slowly relax and make your way back up into a standing position. That very active forward bend will just allow you to, over time, go a little bit deeper. We're going to do the same thing, but this time around, after the activation, you're going to relax and see if it's possible to go a little bit deeper after you've done the activation. So lower down. First, it's just a normal forward bend. And now start to squeeze your glutes, suck navel to spine, actively work your chest closer to the floor, crown of the head closer to floor. Keep that engagement. Hold. And now relax and see if you can just go a little bit deeper. Now with an inhale, do halfway lift. Plant your hands on exhale. Step back into plank. In this plank position, shift a little bit of weight back and forth. Just a bit of movement. And then take your hips up into a downward facing dog pose. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot between hands. Slowly start to straighten the front leg out as much as you can. Holding it there. Still working into the hamstrings. Aim to keep a bit of length in your back. You'll find that the minute you start to arch in your back as if you're doing a back bend, you'll feel better activation. Bend into the front knee. Step the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and step your left foot in between hands. Straighten the front leg. Hips square. Arch in the back. Giving your left leg a chance to stretch. Bend into your knee. Hands down, step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, hips into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down. Inhale into cobra, so keep your hips down. Keep a bend in the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step right foot in between hands. Slide your left hand more or less in line with the right heel, and then take your opposite arm up as you straighten the front leg as much as you can. So if there's a bit of a bend in the knee, that's fine, as long as you work towards straightening the leg. Exhale, bring your hand down, bend into the knee, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, hips into plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Link breath and movement. Exhale, place foot between hands. Slide your right hand further back, more in line with the shoulder. Straighten the front leg, left arm up. It doesn't matter if you don't straighten the leg. Exhale, bring your hand down, bend into knee. Step back into plank. Lift your hips downward facing dog. Inhale, hips to plank. Exhale, knees down, chest and chin down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving through a bit of vinyasa, still focusing on the hamstrings. From the down dog, walk your hands all the way to the back of the mat. Get your heels firmly on the floor. Don't push your hips past your heels. As you get into the forward bend, take a halfway lift on inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. One more inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend, and hold it here. Now, in breath, halfway lift, and just continue breathing as you walk your hands to the front of the mat. Keep as much weight on the feet as you can as we approach the down dog from a different angle. Bend into knees, look up. Inhale, position feet in between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. On in-breath, bend your knees. Place your hands under the feet. Get your toes to touch your wrists. Take a nice in-breath in this position. Start to straighten the legs out. Exhale, forward bend. Now once again, if you don't quite have the hamstring flexibility, you'll keep softness in the knees and you actively pull your chest closer to your knees. It's all about getting a bit of length in your spine with the forward bending, because the minute you keep your spine long, you'll find that it's more effective on the hamstrings. So you really do not have to straighten your legs to benefit from this session. Bending into your knees. Release your hands onto mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back into plank. You'll find that it's easier to approach knees, chest, chin from a plank shape. So now place knees down. Exhale, chest and chin down. And then relax onto the floor. Position your hands below your face. You can rest your chin on your hands. Lock both legs, push the pelvis down. Raise your right leg. So the left knee is also not touching. It's active. And as you hold the leg nice and high, start to make small movements. The hips stay pinned to the floor. It's simply just a straight leg moving up and down, and not too much. Keep going. Exhale, bring the right leg down. Keep the right leg active, meaning knee not touching the mat. Raise your left leg, straight left leg. First to that maximum sort of height, and then move the leg up and down. Keep the hips down. Keep moving. And then bring your leg down. Place your elbows below your shoulders and lift your chest into Sphinx. In the Sphinx position, pelvis should stay down. Lift your legs, feet can be hip distance apart. Flex your feet and actively pull with the heels towards your body. Just getting good activation. Slowly bring your legs down. Option, well, firstly tucking the toes, straightening the legs. Option of staying in this modified Sphinx pose where we've got the knees not touching the mat, or option of straightening the legs. So straight legs, well, straightening the arms at least. So straight legs, straight arms if possible, and holding this position for about 5 breaths. Alternatively, your elbows will rest on the floor. Slowly bring your elbows back down. You can position your hands below the shoulders. First, push back into almost a child's pose, and then straighten your legs into downward facing dog. Bending knees, look up. On inhale, make your way into a seated position. So finally, we get back to seated. Legs out in front. You will point with the toes. We'll be raising the right leg exactly the way we did lying on our stomach. So point with the toes, keep length in your spine, lift your right leg, and take it up and down. If it's quite intense, you might take a little breather in between and then carry on. Keep going. Keep sternum up. And then bring your right heel down. Opposite side. Keep moving the leg up and down. And then bring your left heel down. Part your feet, get your legs mat width apart. Flex your feet. Reach with your hands. Maybe you can find the balls of the feet. If not, hold on to your ankles. But as you find your feet or ankles, take a nice deep inhale. Get length in your spine and exhale. Actively pull your chest forward slightly, drawing shoulders away from ears. So once again, targeting the hamstring muscle. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Take your legs wider. So we're not taking it to the Upavista Konasana shape quite yet, and we do the exact same thing. So wider leg stance, find the balls of the feet, find your ankles, nice deep inhale, exhale, pulling your chest and chin forwards. Now if you're sitting up here to keep length in your back, then that's where you hold it. It's about getting into your hamstrings and most definitely not overstretching. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Now we take the legs into the Upavista Konasana shape, meaning, technically speaking, you should be able to grip hold to the outsides of the feet when you take your arms out to the sides and you take it into a bit of a forward bend. If you struggle to find the feet, hold on to your legs and just actively do the same thing, pushing heels down, working your chest and chin forwards. Gradually working into the inner legs by widening the stance, slowly but surely. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, release. As you bring your legs back to the front, keep your left leg straight, bend your right leg, foot to inner thigh. I even like foot to knee, having a bigger gap, but then the knee lifts a little bit, but it's a nice way to protect the knee should you want to go that option. Find your front foot or ankle, take a nice in-breath. On exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let go. Switch legs. Right leg straight, left leg bent. Inhale, take arms up or just reach forwards, and exhale into a bit of a forward bend. Almost done with the stretching of the hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let go. You can now cross your legs, get into a cross-legged position. Walk your hands out in front, bringing your chest down towards the floor. For some, this movement would be relatively easy, but for other people, it could be quite challenging. If it's challenging, just be patient. Just give your body a chance to get used to this sort of forward bending in a cross-legged position. And then make your way up on the inhalation. As you walk your hands back up, you can straighten your legs. Make your way down onto the floor. Step your feet close to your glutes. We will be doing a bit of upper hamstring activation again. So, with the feet being on the mat, start to lift your hips. As you lift the hips, see if there's a way to get all your weight on the left foot, straighten the right leg out in front. Should you wish to intensify the activation in the left leg, pull with the left heel towards the shoulders, but keep the foot firmly on the mat. That would just intensify the activation. Then bring the right foot down, shift weight onto the right foot, start to straighten the left leg, and do the same thing. Actively pull with the heel towards your shoulders. Exhale, bring your left foot down, feet hip distance. Simply push through your feet. Take your hips a little bit higher. Use an exhale to slowly lower down onto the mat. Take your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around the knees and gently move from side to side. Our very last hamstring stretch combined with activation. Straighten the right leg onto the floor, point with the toes. Straighten your right leg up to ceiling, point with the toes. Usually I ask you to flex. So now pointing, you can look up, lift your shoulder blades off the floor, and actively pull your leg closer to your body. Feel the stretch that you get, along with very good activation. Exhale, bring the right leg down. Inhale, left leg up, and hold. Exhale, bring it down. Step feet together onto the mat, drop the knees out to the sides, and slightly, I want to say, move your pelvis from side to side. The movement in the pelvis will allow the knees to sort of move a little bit from side to side. And then allow the pelvis to become still. Hold your reclined butterfly pose. In order to get out of this one, you can bring your hands to the outsides of your legs, push your knees back together, bend your knees, pull knees closer to chest, grab hold behind the backs of the knees, make your way up to seated. We will be finishing the practice in a bit of a seated position before we relax back into corpse pose. So, arms can be straight, pads of the thumbs and index fingers touching. The other fingers will be stretched out. So you use as little energy as possible in order to just keep the arms straight. So you don't want to overactivate. Shoulders relaxed, arms straight. Take your chin, bring it close to your chest, almost as if you want to grip your shirt and squeeze or grip the shirt and keep it between the chin and chest. Soften your gaze, but keep your eyes open as you sit with a lengthened spine. So quite a lot of subtle instructions for a posture that looks pretty basic. Your gaze is soft. Now the focus is going to be to deepen your breaths. So however deep your breathing pattern was throughout the practice, lengthen your inhales more. Keep the breath equalized, so you'll have to lengthen or extend the exhalations as well. And just before we make our way into corpse pose, you can rest your hands in your lap, lift your chin, close your eyes, and put the deep breathing aside. Just allow your breath to be natural. When you are ready, You can slowly make your way onto your back into corpse pose, staying there for as long as you like. Should you wish to stay in this upright seat position, you can simply proceed with a bit of meditation before you carry on with your day.